like?
She was showing me a property that she's over, and it was 2.9 million. She was like, yeah, because you gotta buy me a house and you gotta buy me a car. And I was like, whoa, like we just got married, like we gotta get past decision day. And when I say things like that, it's kind of like, oh shoot, like this man may not want to be with me, and it kind of like pushes her back. And I try not to, but I'm like, I just want to make sure that we are planning for the future.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think she is if she's telling you to look for y'all a house.
Yeah, but it's so much expectation, and
well,
I think
I mean 2.9 million.
Yeah, I think the expectation.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Button 91. We're talking to you guys quickly, about Married at First Sight. I say quickly, it's gonna be a long one, so buckle up, get your popcorn, get your pen and paper, bring your notes, bring your opinions, bring your thoughts. We're talking to you guys about Married at First Sight. Yes, we are discussing the latest ongoings in episode 13. It was a crazy one. Listen, Kirsten with a 2.9 million push present that she's expecting. We had Aris talk a little bit more, to Jasmine, and it seems like Jasmine was a bit more receptive with Aris and his opening up emotionally. You guys are asking for them to do a wife swap. I think they should, personally, because clearly Kirsten don't want nothing, but I don't know if Aris can afford a 2.9 million home either. So I mean, Aris would be the one that would be losing out. I think with Gina and Clint, can I be honest with you, sis, why are we bringing your work colleague friends, your work, employees to the house again? Like they are. I'm a little bit tired of Gina. I know these two have just decided they're gonna play house until the end and call it quits. I just know that. They just look like they're on that edge. And then we also have on the last couple, which is Chris and Nicole. I don't know what Nicole thinks she's done, but Nicole's acting like she's hiding bodies, okay, as to why she's behaving the way she is. Like she's acting as if she's hiding bodies. And I'm like, yo, sis, if you're not hiding bodies, it's never that deep, sis. Like, yeah, you misbehaved when you're younger. Yes, you were naughty when you're younger. But sis, don't be holding yourself accountable for this long. Like, it's okay. You've let it go, right? You've done what you need to do, right? You finished with the thing, right? It's done. Like, let it go, babe. Okay? Yeah? They say let it go now. It's okay. So yeah, man, it's some type of way. You know what I mean? It's some type of way. But look, we're gonna get into the depth of it. Someone said I'm sick of Gina in that salon. I'm gonna be honest with you. That girl has used the show as a marketing. All the show has been marketing. This show has been simply marketing all the way. Okay. I don't know what is going on with there, but so Lynn says she might have some bodies. Oh wow. Apparently she might be filing for bankruptcy before Married at First Sight. Oh damn. Oh damn, she's hiding somebody's. She might be hiding somebody's. Well, at least that's consistent, because the way she's talking as if like everything's been on the table, she was going on like she had many bodies, blood. I need her to relax. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think I need her to relax. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like calm it down, kids. Calm it down. I'm telling you, man, she got somebody's. Oh, she got somebody. Like, sis, bankruptcy is not that killer of a deal, man. Do you know what I mean? All right? Yeah, no diggity. No back it up. Ooh, you know what I mean? I like the way you work it. It's like, it's cool, babe. Like, I think he's going to love you regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to love you. Just so long as you're not disrespectful, you're not mean, you're not doing anything that's in the current crop that's going to be toxic, I think you'll be okay, sis. I think you're going to make it through, because he definitely let us know that he ain't marrying the past Nicole. So that one, dear, if you got a past Nicole like as a bad wig, don't bring it out. Okay? If got a past record with a particular wig, and when I say wig, what I mean by that is, if you've got a past record with certain certain bodies in your closet. Just relax. Just relax. Okay. All right. Relax. All right. So relax. All right. Cool. Let's get into the conversation because we're talking about married at first sight. We're gonna get into some conversation today. We're gonna start off strong. Okay. We're gonna start off strong. Listen, I know a couple of others will join us a little bit later, but we're kicking off straight away. And if we miss it, you miss it. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Cool. All right. Let's talk a little bit about Kirsten and Shaq. That's the main one everyone wants to really talk about. The rest of them, nobody cares about. Let's be honest. So Kirsten and Shaq, let's get the talkings, baby. Let's get the talking. Let me get my thing up as well. Pause. But let me get the banner up quickly for you guys, and then we'll get the conversation. My body, baby, ride it, your pony. Looks like Kirsten said, listen, if you're going to have access to this body, just know that it's not free. Okay? I don't cook. I don't clean. Let me tell you how I got this ring. Okay? She's going to swallow it and go to it, and that's it. That's all she's going to do to get the buddies. And now she asked for the 2.9 million. Okay? All right. Coolly, Oli. All right. Cool. All right. So, yes, Trey, Crystal, good to see you guys. I know we'll have the rest of the guys come on a little bit later. Talking obviously about this particular 2.9 million house push. I want to ask the first question. Should a man have a house before he comes into this marriage? I'm gonna start the fires off strong. Should a man have the house before marriage? That's what we're asking. Yes, Crystal, go for it.
Should he already have it bought? Is that what you're trying to ask?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't have. No, not this situation. No, he doesn't have to have the house bought before he walks into a situation like this. Even if he didn't know who he was walking into. No, not necessarily. I think he should be a little bit more established than what's his name, old boy that they're not even on the show anymore. He should be a little bit more established than him, but no. Because you don't know where it's going to go. You don't know if it's going to work out. So that's what I think. But whew. Go ahead, Trey.
Trey, go for it.
Y'all, evening. I'm sorry, I'm over here caking for a second. This was wild. I was what? Okay. I know we're gonna get into it. You see my tag. I know we're gonna get into it because how Kirsten handled the situation will automatically cause battle lines between men and women. Period. Now, besides that, my first question was, why did you even bring this man to this house? Why? Why did you show him this? Because you know what he does. You know he can't afford this. Number one, you can't even afford this. I know you can't. So why you brought me here? It'd have been one thing if you say, "Hey, baby, maybe this is something we can work towards." You know, it's a dream of ours. But no, you want him to do it. Wait, I know we're gonna get to that. We'll tussle later. This is just the intro. But she was acting a little wild. I wish Shaq was a little calmer later on about it, because I do think he was getting a little in his feelings to a certain extent. But I don't think he was wrong. Like what's going on in your head? She was me instead of we. And that's what concerned me. Like when he caught on to that, he was like, "Yo, you said buy me a house, buy me a car, not us a house, provide us with a family that we build together." I'm like, I caught that too. And she didn't change her tune until he brought it up. That's when she started backtracking. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. Oh, this is not what I meant. Okay. Okay. But we're gonna get to it though. We're gonna get to it.
You still need to answer the question though. Should a man have a house before marriage? That's the question. Trey?
A part of me wants to say yes. The only issue is number one, it's especially if I be fair and look from a woman's standpoint, that's your house, number one. Number two, are you going to be satisfied with whatever house he comes with? You know, I know from a man's standpoint, yeah, hopefully I brought a house that I think will be big enough for us to raise family in. I don't know if she's going to think the same thing. So we may end up still going to get a house together, still after I done brought this house. So it's a toss up. Me personally, I wouldn't mind going ahead and get my own house or whatnot, whatever. But that's still a thought. I'm going to get, married pretty soon or whatnot, whatever. Is what I'm trying to provide, or what I think that I'm trying to provide is enough. But that depends on the woman. So I don't know. It's a toss up. It'd probably be smarter for you to wait and do it together, but they both have their pitfalls.
No biggie. All right, Trey. Thank you, JR. First question: should a man have a house before marriage?
Hey, good evening, people. I think in this day and age, absolutely, because it provides a level of security, knowing that you've got your own place and you don't have to rely on the partner to come with one. So I think that's a yes. Is it the place that you two eventually live in or move in? That's up for debate. But it definitely helps in this day and age if you got your own place. And if you do find a place together, maybe you can rent one of the properties out, and that can be an extra income. So, yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I hear you guys. I mean, personally, I don't think it's a requirement. I don't think it's a requirement at all, to be honest. It's not a requirement in 2023 to have bought a house already before I've met you. It's nice if that's the case, if he's got that. You know what I mean? What I don't want to see is at your mama's house. Okay, maybe that's what some ladies might not want to see, right? But if you're Christian, you shouldn't even worry about that because y'all ain't meant to be alone together anyway. So you need to keep your hands to yourselves. But if that could be something like, okay, not being at your mom's house, but rather being in a space where you can have your own space. That's different. I don't think there's a necessity on having your own property before you get married, man or woman. I think it would be nice. I think it would be nice to have that. So I think that's a, and again, when I say have your own house, I don't mean renting. I mean, you've bought your house. I don't mean you had a government scheme where the government going to take your house back because you didn't pay your thing. And I ain't talking about mortgage. I'm talking about a government scheme. We have some of those in the UK. So I'm talking about you actually bought your house. So this is not renting. Okay. So I'm asking that question. If you're renting, not that you've bought your house, if you're renting, that doesn't include in you buying your house and having a house. I'm talking about when you yourself have bought the house. I'm asking. Okay. I'm asking, so should that be a case? And the audience was seeing. So I'll put a what do you call it? A poll in the chat. I'm sure we'll get some good answers from people as well to see what they say. Okay, so let me ask another question about obviously Kirsten and about Kirsten and Shaq as well. Okay. So obviously we saw with Kirsten and Shaq, was it unreasonable to ask for the house at this stage of the relationship, knowing what we know about the relationship? So the question I'm asking right now is it unreasonable for Kirsten to have asked for what she asked for at this point in time? To at this point in time, was it unreasonable for her to ask for what she asked for in this point in the relationship and in the marriage right now? So I'm gonna get your viewpoints. Yes, Crystal.
I'm going question by question. Yes,
Thank
and
you.
it just bars. It just says a lot. Like, and I put a thing in the chat. Like, was the D that good? Girl, what's going on that you just jump from, not being attracted to him to jump to this? It doesn't make any sense. And now you've jumped from not attracted to just think you're gonna buy me a house and I want this car. And we're gonna talk about this delivery. I totally agree. I'm just trying to go question by question. But we're gonna talk about how she asked for this house and walking him into a $2.9 million house to introduce the subject was a big no. So yeah, I just think it's odd. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And I think it doesn't make any sense to him either. So yeah, I think it's unreasonable at this point.
Okay. Same question to you, Trey. The question is, as I've put down below, okay, all right. Is it unreasonable for her to have asked for this particular what she was demanding at this stage of the relationship? Was it unreasonable for her to ask what she asked at this stage of the relationship? That's what I'm asking the question specifically.
Extremely unreasonable. I still don't understand why she did it. Like I said earlier, it really makes no sense for her to do this. Like, and why that house? That's what I still don't get. Why that house at that price? Almost like she's trying to testament something, whatever. I mean, you already know. I'm assuming, and this is bad to assume. I'm assuming she already knows how much he's pretty much making now. So he ain't be able to afford this house. So why even do this? So yeah, it was very strange. It was very strange.
Cool. Thank you, Trey. JR, same question to you.
Definitely strange to ask for a house at this stage. Why? Because up until last week, she wasn't feeling him. They only were intimate last week after 8 weeks of waiting, right? And then, listen, isn't he supposed to have some say over what house he buys or where they live as well? Why does it have to be the $2.9 million house that she's picked up? What kind of craziness is that? She is in real estate, so she gets to see a lot of properties in the area and how much they're worth. Why are you aiming that high when the connection that you guys have isn't worth that yet? And if we remember what her room looked like when they went to the house, what the hell are you going to put in a $2.9 million house? You don't even got nothing in your bedroom. And are you going to maintain that house? No. So it's unrealistic expectations. So yeah, definitely can't be asking for that at this stage in the relationship. Maybe like 10 years down the line, you can be looking at $2.9 million house, but you're not even going to make it there. So no, you're just trying to bankrupt the guy and put him in debt and put him in bare stress. And you're not even feeling him.
You're going to be on Red Pill next week. Sean, is it unreasonable to ask for a house at this stage of the relationship? Sorry, she demanded. Sorry, not even that she asked. She demanded. So is it unreasonable, Kat? That's what we're asking right now.
I just need you to hit the harmonies for me, coach. I don't know what the note is, but I give myself away so she can use me. She can use me. She can use me. We can go all the way to the bank with it.
Sean Davis away.
That's it. There you go, Crystal. I'm loving the look. Crystal, you looking real nice on the heels of your birthday celebration.
Come on.
So
Yes.
listen, as much as I prepare and will be pandering, I think first of all, the 2.9 million, I think we're reaching if we really think that she was completely serious that you know, Shaq was going to be buying that particular house. I think the topic that we're talking about is if he should be buying her a house this very early on in the stage. That is a question we could talk about. But we all know good and hell well, Kirsten was not expecting him to buy this particular $2.9 million house. So that I think we just need to, you know, be clear about. It wasn't this particular house. It was a house. And she definitely does, as much as she jokes and goes in and out of the jokes, she does expect him to buy her a house. She kind of acquiesced a little bit and switched to the we, but that's only after he pressed her a little bit. So look, my thoughts on it are, you know what you're going to get. So I'm not surprised that came out of her mouth, that's what she expected. Now, I think we can have a conversation about what realistic and what reality looks like and what I'm prepared to do. But I personally, especially as somebody being married, you know, that is kind of the general sentiment, right? Now, I'm not saying that my wife didn't participate in the process. She absolutely did, but it was disproportionately me. You know, and I don't really think there's nothing wrong with it. I'm sorry. I don't really see a big deal. And if you and in my personal experience, we started high, right? So, and sometimes real estate agents will even do that for you when you're, you know, you might have, you know, champagne taste, but Budweiser money, right? So the realtor will start you off high, and she's a realtor, right? And then you work your way down to what realistic looks like, right? So she's a realtor. She knows what the mortgage is going to cost. So she's just not like a bleach blonde going into this with blinders on. She knows exactly what it is. So, but I would say that in this type of process, to have that expectation, she's living in a land of delusion. And I think, listen, if I was with a woman like her, we would have to have some realistic conversations, but let her live in fantasy land for a while, you know? And I say, okay, so we're going to get the $2.9 million house. What's that mortgage look like? So the mortgage is $12,500 with taxes and insurance. All right. So where's that coming from? Right? You know, you just need to just have a dollars and cents conversation with her if it's in fact true that she wanted the $2.9 million house, again, which I think she was just in fantasy la la land. So that's my thoughts.
Thank you, Sean, for pandering. We appreciate you being consistent over the last few weeks as well. Thank you. Okay. Your offering has been received by the worship of Kirsten. But I'm gonna change the name to Kirsten Worship Tabernacle. But you know, I'm hearing this. I'm hearing these points, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at different points that are being made so far in this conversation. Now, I think what is to be said, you know, that I think I don't disagree with, you know, a man paying more, because depending on how much of financials come into it. Again, I want no, wait, I've got a question. I've got a question. I want to ask the panelists, but I'm also asking the audience. Got one more question I've got to ask. I've got to ask this question. I want to ask this question. Okay. Should the man pay more? Let's say both of you go to buy a house. Should the man pay more when you're buying the house? And I want to say this. The caveat is you earn more than him. Not considerably loads more, just a little bit more, maybe like a little 5K a year more. Should the man pay more than you? That's the question I'm asking. I know it's not slightly. We're still talking about that first sight, and I'm asking the audience, and I'm going to let you guys have free reign on this top on the Kirsten and thingy topic. But I'm asking this question: should the man who should pay? Who's going to pay more in this question? I want to see where we're going to go with this. Okay, all right. I want to see where we're going to go with this. Okay, so I want to see where we're going to go about this, right? Because it's going to be really important. All right. I feel like I'm going to expose some double standards here, and some people are going to show their tail in a minute. But I just want to see. Okay, I just want to see. I just want to see. It's a social experiment. That's all. So, Crystal, question to you first and foremost. You're going to buy a house. Kirsten and Shaq are about to go and buy a house, but Kirsten earns more than Shaq. Let's say 5 to 10K more. Who is paying more in the house?
He should pay more. I'm actually not opposed to him buying the house. I just didn't like her delivery. So yeah, he can pay more. He can. So yes, I'm going to say yes on that.
I love that. Thank you, Crystal. I love that. Ladies, I'm loving this answer. Trey, question to you: who's going to pay more?
This is an easy answer. We know what the real is. Most women going to say he should pay for it. Most men going to say, let me think about it. But we still know, yeah, the idea or the expectation is we pay for the house, so we pay more. It is what it is. Now, is it a double standard? Now, that's a question, isn't it?
I like it. No, I like it. I'm loving it. Okay, I like it. JR, talk to me. The question: who's paying more?
Yeah, I agree. The man should pay more because it's part of his protection and provision duties or expectations in most cases. So, yeah, man should pay more.
All right, fantastic. So even though she earns more, he should pay more, right?
Fantastic. Yeah, because she needs to spend her extra income on building the home, like getting the furniture and decorating and all that stuff.
I love this. I can't wait to nail it to the wall.
But who says she's going to do that?
Trey, don't even worry, Trey. Don't even worry, Trey. That's you know the thing, Kez. You know the thing. No, you know, Trey. That's the hand.
Gonna come back at us.
No, it's not even you. Don't worry. The audience is who I'm coming for. Sean, woman earns more, 5 to 10K more. Who pays more for the house?
I would. The man should.
Okay. The man should. Okay, it's very simple. Audience, I want to ask you a simple question. The woman earns 5 to 10K more. Who should pay more, the man or the woman? I've seen most of your answers in here, but I just want to hear it once more again. I just want to hear this once more again because I can't wait for Sunday's panel. You know, I can't wait because I want to see. So, ladies, I want to ask a question. Okay, all right. I want to ask a question. If the woman earns slightly more, who should pay? I'm not asking you to ask if the man is cheap or poor. We just said, what's the answer? You know, I want to know the answer. Okay, all right. So I want to know the answer. Who should pay more? That's the question I'm asking, ladies. It's not a difficult question. I just want to know who should pay more. That's all I'm asking. Okay, that's all I'm asking. I just want to know who should pay more, and then we're gonna get into our discussion fully about this episode in full detail and let people swing at the thing they say. Okay, now I want to know your thoughts. Who should do it more? Okay, who should pay more? Talk to me. Let me see the answers in the chat. The man should pay more. Someone said equal amounts. Okay. Z said it sounds like a trap. It is a trap. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's a trap. But the fact that you know it's a trap tells me that you're already overthinking it. So thank you for considering the point. We appreciate you. Okay. Yeah. The man should pay more. Okay. Someone said Neva should pay more. Okay. Cool. Okay. All right. Cool. Someone said, have we deducted taxes and health insurance? I'm only asking if you earn more, who should pay more? That's what I'm asking. Okay. All right. We're saying 5 to 10K more. Who should pay more? Okay. Who should pay more? That's what I'm asking. Who should pay more? Okay. Some people are saying equal. Some ladies are actually saying equal. So do you know what? Okay. So now, okay, we got some people in here that are saying equal. You know, that's some good. Someone said partnership. Split down the middle. Okay, even though you earn more. I like that. Okay. Okay. All right. Someone said you're lying in the chat. Lillian said they're lying in the chat. They're not being honest. Ladies, are you not being honest? Okay. Jen N said if he wants to be the head of the home, he should pay more. Okay. Not equal as an African. Okay, cool. Now, the reason why I asked this question, okay, and this is for the ladies out there that were screaming about come with your house ready and everything like that. If the man is expected, even when you earn more, to pay more, I need your submission to be submission without any question at all. The man should always be the head and should always lead, and you should never have arguments about this question. I don't want to hear anything from those ladies that were out here strongly telling us that man should pay more. If you know he should pay more, I don't want to ever see you in a chat ever again questioning whether a man should lead or not in a relationship. I don't want to hear you talk about your fears, your traumas, about anything that happened to you. That's why you can't let a man lead, because you know exactly when it comes to money who should lead. So from here on out, I don't want to hear again, I can't let a man lead. When you know exactly, for those of you, it's for those of you who said that a man should pay more. For the rest of you who said equal, you can tussle with me all you want for the next few years. Okay, I'll welcome the tussle. But I know there's a lot of you who I know who are struggling with the submission aspect, but you know exactly who should pay more, even when you earn more. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm just saying is, if you know you struggle with that particular aspect where you're like, I can't let a man lead, you know exactly who should lead, because when it comes to finances, you know exactly where a man's place is. I need you to find that same place when it comes to the relationship in general. That's what I'm going to say to you. You know what I mean? And I appreciate your participation as well. Let's get on with the show, guys. All right, we're talking about Kirsten and we're talking about our lovely, lovely, lovely Shaq. I want to get your thoughts in full now, what you thought about this as well, because, you know, they're going to call these men a bit of brokies because they can't buy their own houses, but some of them can't submit, but we ain't going to go there because I'm petty today, okay? I'm going to show you my dark art side. But I want to get your thoughts. I want to get your thoughts. This episode was a crazy one, so I want to get your thoughts. What did you guys think about the Shaq and the Kirsten situation? I want to get your overall thoughts. Yes, Crystal, go for it.
Okay, I believe Kirsten walking him into a $2.9 million house, even I don't think that she expects that from him, but Shaq, the way he thinks, and y'all know we've talked about it several times, that he's very he thinks a lot, and he's analytical and maybe thinks too much. That is pressure to him. I think the way she did it, if she wanted to say, hey, in the future, I'd like for you to buy me a house, or I want the man to be doing this, that, and the other, I want you to take charge of this. The way she introduced it to him was the way wrong way. And we even talked about the way Shaq, when they were supposed to go on the honeymoon, the way he did that was wrong. The way he was like, oh, you're not going on the honeymoon the first day like everybody else. I have to do this. You know, the way he introduced that to her was wrong. So in turn, the way she introduced this house and said, no, I want you to buy me a house, and not just buy me a house. She said, well, no, it's fine. You know, when your lease is up, he's like, my lease is up in 3 months. She said, yes, exactly. So one, Shaq could have come back to her and said, what kind of house are you looking at? You know, we got to, you know, that means if you're looking at in 3 months, 90 days, I need to get approved now. Like there's a lot of things that, you know, that we need to start working on now. And that is pressure to him, because he's looking around this $2.9 million house and he's like, wait a minute, you know, the way he thinks, I think that was the wrong way for her to do that. Yeah, she was, and here's the thing, Shaq is a family guy. We talked about this with this episode and last episode, how he really wants family around. We saw his mother, and I don't know if that was a sister or whoever that was, that he is the type of person to make sure family stays together. He is a family guy. So he'll make it happen, but she pushed that type of that on him. I don't think that I agree with Sean. I don't think she wants a $2.9 million house, but the way she did it, I didn't think that was cool. I didn't think her showing him that to introduce that conversation. I don't think that was right. What else? Yeah, the conversation that they were having, I think that she was kind of joking with him, but I appreciate that Shaq was like, okay, you said you don't like me joking. Let's talk about it seriously. She was joking, but she was being serious. She was being serious. And I like the fact that now Shaq is coming back at her and he's saying, okay, I'll remember, change your Mercedes for a Honda. Like, I think that he's going tit for tat with her. Like, I don't know if the D was that good. Now she's just so lovey-dovey. Now she's just like all over him. Okay, now you're gonna buy me a house and a car and this, that, and the other. I do want to get into the dad conversation, and then I'll land my plane here. I did think it was interesting.
Go a minute, Crystal.
Okay, I did think it was interesting that she showed him the house. They all were in this one bedroom. All the kids were in the one bedroom house, right? But then she doesn't want to introduce. She is so nervous to introduce her dad to him. Like, she needs to have the house. She needs to say, "See, Dad, he's buying me a house. See, Dad, he's doing this for me." I don't think she knows what she wants. She's judging what other people want on what she should have, and that's why her apartment's not full now. Go.
Appreciate it, Crystal. Trey, what's your thoughts?
Like I said before, it seemed like it was a test of him, kind of to see how he would react. But it was a bad test to begin with. Just, you know, she could have accomplished, God's honest truth, she could have accomplished the same thing with showing him a realistic house that she know that he probably could afford. But she didn't do that. She went overboard and then doubled down by making demands of him. No, you're gonna buy me a house. You're gonna buy me a car, which she didn't realize what type of mindset she was spewing out. Me, 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 me. This is supposed to be us, our, together. We're building a family. She doesn't have that mindset. It's just all about me and how it looks. Because I do think her father does play a part in this that she's trying to downplay a little bit. Because whatever he is saying behind the scenes, you know, she's putting some icing and sugar on it by saying, oh, you know, he still thinks he's not comfortable with this. You know, he just wants, you know, he doesn't, you know, he's still not used to the process. He just needs a little time. But every time you try to set something up, something always happens, and he doesn't meet him. I don't think he wants to meet him per se. He really don't. He can care less. He's just not into this. He doesn't believe it. It's whatever. I just think he's on the fence. I think Crystal has a point. She's trying to set it up and say, hey, she's trying to set him up to put him in position to put a bow on it. Hey, this is the man I chose, and this is what he's doing to provide for me, whatever, this and that and third. Daddy, didn't I accomplish something? You know, but yeah, I do think Shaq does have a point when he admitted to Jasmine, like, yeah, this does bother me. Because something's off over there. Something's off. You know, they might have spoke over the phone or something like that a few times, whatever, but he doesn't want to meet him. It's getting to the point where it's excuses now. It's sounding more like excuses, and that's what's going through his head. Yeah, something's off. And that whole house situation, the only thing it did was expose her and her mentality. Not good. To me, it was like, it wasn't even the house thing or you being the man, the leader, buying a house. I believe in that. It was her mentality of, you buy me a house. What happened to us? You know, that was a big red flag for me. I was like, whoa. Nah, Kirsten, you misstepped on this one. And it was a bad misstep that she tried to fix. But yeah, bad misstep.
Oh, sorry, JR, go for it. My bad. I was muted myself.
Okay, so yeah, I can kind of see that. You know, to me, I don't think it was a test. To me, it seems like she was very specific with the value of the house that she's looking at. She was very specific with the Lamborghini that she was talking about. All right. Now, he's already indicated weeks back that, decision day is going to come soon and they need to be in a place where he's comfortable to say yes. I'm not sure that bringing this stuff up in the way she did is going to make him feel comfortable, even though they've now been intimate. It's another way to unsettle him about decision day. I'll touch on Crystal's point about the father as well, right? Like, the dad didn't turn up to the wedding, and she is apparently a daddy's girl, right? So now she doesn't want Shaq to meet the dad, but she wants a $2.9 million house and a Lamborghini. So for me, it's all about getting Shaq in a position where he's doing a lot to prove that he wants to be with her, right? And it's all material. And Trey, you're right. It wasn't about us. It wasn't about our house. It wasn't about let's do this together. It was about I want a car or I want this house. It's all about I, and there's no I in team. So to me, it gave off very materialistic vibes, and she probably knows that man can't afford no $2 million anything. But she was also very specific in knowing that his lease is up in 3 months. So that's when she's expecting this to happen. Why apply that much pressure if you're not serious? That's going to stress a man out. The protector and provider role that we take on when we go into relationships, like, we have to think about these things, our budget and how much our wages are going to go towards these things. And I don't think she showed, I wouldn't even say empathy because she wouldn't, but I don't think she showed enough understanding in that moment as to how much of a financial pressure that's going to be to maintain a mortgage for 25 years at $2.9 million for that house. That's crazy.
Appreciate it, JR. Thank you. Seaway, thoughts on Shaq and Kirsten?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
No, we can't hear you.
You just disappeared, baby. You just disappeared.
What about now?
Yep.
Okay, sorry.
Oh.
My Wi-Fi is Wi-Fi-ing. Is this good now? Okay. So I didn't watch it in its entirety. Really hardly at all. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I just ran. So I didn't miss you guys. But I did want to comment on the whole thing about just having a house before you get married. I was listening to you guys. I don't know what person, I should say there's some, but the average person between like 26 and 35 when they have their first marriage usually doesn't have a house, male or woman, unless they have like a condo or something like that. So I think it's pretty normal for a man not to have a house before they get married. I don't expect that. I don't know any of my friends who expected that. So I just wanted to comment on that. And then as far as like the 50-50 thing that you guys talked about, I don't know. I just feel like you pay what you can. Whatever it takes to get the house, you pay. And then, whoever has more or has less, it's hard to even pay these down payments. So I think most people are just figuring out what money they can put together to get their house. But as far as like the mortgage, I just feel like the man should pay the mortgage. I mean, this is how I feel. However, if you are a woman and you're making more money than the man, you may have to think about if that's possible, personally, if my value system is that I want the man to pay the mortgage, I'm not sure I would be with a man that makes less money than me. And I think sometimes people try to have these value systems, but they don't see it all the way through. Like if you want your man to make more money than you and you want the man to pay the mortgage, you need to find a man that makes that amount of money. You know, you can't be imposing those values on a broke man or a man that makes less money than you. I should say that. So that's just kind of how I view, you know, that. I don't pay the rent here. I never saw my mother paying any mortgage. So I just feel like that's just what I saw. And yeah, I feel like this $2.9 million house, I don't think she was serious. Kind of like what Sean said. There's no way that she was actually serious about that type of house, at all. I need to go back and rewatch it because I'm gonna hop off after this because I didn't see the whole thing. I'm just gonna listen to you guys. But I do think there's a lot of women that kind of have this like, you need to get this for me, buy me thing, and it's kind of a turn off to certain men, especially men that aren't like on that tricking type of time. And it doesn't seem like Shaq is on that type of time. So if Kirsten wants to find a man that's going to be buying her a $2.9 million house or a house in general, regardless of it, I don't think that's Shaq, because Shaq gives kind of cheap vibes. I'm just saying, I don't think whatever she's looking for, I don't think she's going to get from Mr. Shaq. So that's just kind of what I think. I wish her the best of luck in finding somebody to buy her that house, though. All queens deserve what they want.
So,
Hey,
Seaway,
Kristen,
just a
you look
question I
great.
asked the audience. Just a question I asked the audience as well before you go, Chris. Seaway. So he pays a mortgage. Is he the leader as well?
Is he the leader of the house?
Of the house and the relationship. Is he the leader of the house and relationship?
Yeah, but here's the thing. You guys like to pussy pop on the fence about this.
No. Seaway,
you guys are the king of pussy popping on this fence.
Seaway, no.
Why is
You
always
were
a
very
but?
direct. You were
Why
very
is
direct
always
of
a
who pays
but?
the mortgage. And I'm asking, so is he the leader of the home? Straight out, leader of the home and relationship. Is he the leader? Because I'm asking that question. Since he's the one that's meant to be paying, because you expect him to pay. And I don't think that's even bad. I'm just saying, so you expect him to pay. So is he the leader? No buts or ifs. Is he the leader? That's all. Would you say yes?
Yes, but he has to be the leader in every aspect. So yes, it's really not hard, right? He should be the leader in that, and I do think that he should that the man should not only pay the mortgage, he should also bear leadership in many aspects, and that's also being an emotional leader, which you guys like to pussy pop on the fence about that. Because I know you guys are big on talking about men should express their emotions too. That's that men's panel. You know, I don't watch because it triggers me. But that's what y'all like to do on that men's panel. And at the end of the day, you got to be a leader in every aspect. So yes, I'm not gonna split the line there, right? If you're not only are you supposed to be paying the mortgage, you're also supposed to be the leader of the household. And of course, you take direction, because the best man has a great woman standing beside them. And I think it's easier for a man to be the leader if he is financially stable. I think where the apple cart has gotten messed up lately, especially as successful as Black women are nowadays, I think it's just throwing in a weird dynamic that men are still trying to be leaders, like we're in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, but then they're not making the money to stand beside it. And then women, these men, not saying y'all, right? I'm not saying y'all. No. But a lot of the men are asking for submissiveness, and they're asking for women to be delicate and stop being so strong and aggressive. But now we have to bear the kids and be out in the street and bring home the money and be 50-50. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's a weird time that we're in. It's a really weird time. And that's probably why you had like last year with what's the lady that I said is pretty, but y'all want to debate if she's pretty or not. The Black couple. Yeah, in that situation. I think when you get to be that successful and you can't find a man that makes more money than you, a lot of times you get in this like emasculating situation where you're in your head, you still want this man to be a leader, but you don't know how to allow that because you're a boss in every, every way. You know what I'm saying?
And I actually 100% agree with you. And I think this proves what the men are saying, right? Because even though you said we should lead in other areas, you came back to the same point. He better earn more. So the same way that we can talk about emotional leadership, spiritual leadership, and all the other leaderships out there, it don't matter what them kind of leaderships are, because if your finances aren't in order, women and men are going to have an issue when it comes to the leadership aspect. Right? I'm not denying you. That's why I said to you. That's why I said that if there's an expectation a man pays for the mortgage and pays for, the larger items, I expect that if you have that expectation without thinking about it, I also have expectation that you're submitting and he's a leader. I don't have an argument about it, because you're not having an argument and not even to say it in a bad way. I expect it. If you have an expectation without any argument that I should pay the bills, I should pay the majority of the major bills, I'm also expecting the same thing. I don't want to be having an argument about submission with people when you have this expectation of me, which is patriarchal, first and foremost. And then I'm saying to you, well, on that patriarchal idea, I want to impose the fact that I need the submission too. I don't want to argue about it. I don't need to tell me it's not 1950s anymore. It's 2023. You are asking me for something. Do you want me to be in that traditional role? I want that same thing as well. You know what I mean? So just kind of saying that same thing. So if that's an expectation, just put it out there. Yeah,
I don't think you're wrong about that. I don't think you're wrong about that.
Yeah.
I think
I agree with you. Oh, you there?
Yeah. Can you?
Yeah, go for it, babe. Oh, I think we lost you again, babe.
No, sorry, my dad called and
Okay.
I'm on my phone and it cut it off. But yeah, no, I think that's fair. I definitely wouldn't debate with that. I think most people wouldn't debate with that. There are some people who I think probably want all things at the same time. I don't think that's how that works. But yeah, I wonder what in other societies though that aren't capitalistic, how this works.
If it's different.
Yeah, because I know like in America, the UK, money runs so many things, and that's what we associate with leadership and masculinity. But I wonder if we were in a more socialistic society or a different type of society, what would be the definition of masculinity and leadership? Because I think capitalism kind of guides our viewpoint and our thought on this.
That's a good question. That looks like might be Sunday's panel, because Seaway's been inspiring the last two, and the audience have picked it up.
Yeah,
So.
I want my check. I want my check,
Huh?
and I want my Venmos. Y'all can Venmo me for this inspiration.
Oh, darling.
I'm inspiring.
You are resting in your feminine energy, and we love it. Okay, keep the creativity going.
Oh gosh, but let me get off of here so I don't inspire another men's panel. Okay.
Well, you were doing so well, and I was like with you 100% until you tried to take our men's panel out. I was like, I don't have one thing to disagree with her about until you tried to take our little men's panel out in one fell swoop. So.
Not you adding a little to it as well.
With your little, I said little money, with your little money.
Exactly.
My little money, my little men's panel.
Your little money.
Right, man. I'm trying to get my 10%. Y'all know Kojo after he ain't gonna give me a dime.
Okay? You ain't getting $1 out here. I'm gonna need to see some submissiveness on this panel, okay, from everybody.
Well, look, you gonna have to wait on that. They already talked about I'm aggressive and attacking Sean like he a baby and can't defend himself. So
I'm gonna need you to do Melanie King on us. I'm gonna need you to do Melanie King, and I need you to be submissive and quiet and not say a word. That's what Melanie King told you not to do. So, hey,
I'm gonna pray about it. I'm gonna pray. About it.
Aye, babe. Aye. Safe journeys when you're going. See, we appreciate you.
I'm just going to the comments, so I'll be here.
Okay. Appreciate you, babe. Sean, go for it.
So listen, I don't have much to say different than what Seaway just shared. And I really think that ultimately, I know we're gonna ride this out, and I get it. It's a talking point, the $2.9 million house. So I'm not gonna waste any more effort and energy in that point. But I definitely do not think that she seriously wants Shaq to buy her that $2.9 million mansion. He was going to work with her. And when she walked through the door, she was like, I'm so excited that I get a chance to show you what I do. Because she spent so much time hearing about Shaq and his mentees and his seminars and what he does on college campuses. So now she's getting to share a part of her life with him. And she took him to one of her listings or a house that perhaps she was aware of, right? So, okay, it's a lavish house. I look at $1 million houses all the time. Doesn't mean I'm buying them. Okay, I love to look on Zillow. I love real estate, right? So I don't think it's such a big deal that she took him to this house. Now, what I do have issue with, right, is her expectation and her not being pretty much willing to have a conversation. Eventually they got there, but her unwillingness to really move from this point that he had to buy her a house and not being considerate of his total situation, right? His student loans. And, I'm sure he's amassed quite a bit of debt because he just finished, I believe, his PhD. So, that usually means you're in 6-figure debt, which comes with a pretty significant monthly payment. And student loan debt is the worst debt to have because you can't get rid of it. It can't even be dismissed in bankruptcy. So it's one of those things that just never leaves you. So I understand his hesitancy to be the sole provider of a house for her at this stage. And I also understood that she was joking, but not joking when she started talking about his lease being up. So I think that all of these things needed to be addressed with her. And I don't think these conversations are unrealistic to have for couples. So for me, this wouldn't be a deal breaker. It wouldn't be a deal breaker for me. So I would just have to navigate the conversation with her, and we're going to have to talk about it and get on the same page. Now, I think if she is unwilling and unrelenting in her expectations, then yes, we have a problem. But I don't see anything wrong with stating what you want. And she does, I've said it in the past, come off like a Southern belle. She's a princess. So there's certain expectations that she has. Is she living in delusional land? Absolutely. Because when we went to that house where she grew up, that didn't meet these expectations, right? And I think sometimes when people deal with trauma or they deal with a traumatic situation, and she definitely talked about the fact that she had a lot of trauma wrapped up in her parents' divorce, sometimes we overinflate the experience and we put certain people on a pedestal. So I think perhaps she did that and is doing that and she's overreaching with her expectations. So I do think those need to be checked. However, I think these are conversations. These are two people that don't know each other. I think these are conversations that we can have. These aren't red flags for me. And again, for me. So I don't see the big deal. I do, again, no, I'm really not a big fan of the way that he talks. I know that she came out with the guns, slinging with what her expectations are, but he talks down to her. When they were sitting at that table and she was like, I don't want you going off on me again. And he was like, no, we're going to talk about this. It's like, this is not the time to buck up, sir. And then he was like, why are you chewing with your mouth open? It's like, relax, buddy. Relax. Get out of teacher mode. So I do think he has to work on his communication. He is a little bit too reactive. So you can't react to everything that somebody says. And this is something that I learned, and I'm just talking from my own experience, right? As you're getting to know someone in a marriage and in a relationship, they're not going to be perfect. Right? And that there are going to be some things that they bring to the table that's going to get on your nerves. You can't always react. You can't always take the bait. You can't always go in. I think sometimes you got to, she started talking about a $2.9 million house. It's like, okay, yeah, $2.9 million where, and look, we can get a house together. And this is what I can do here. This is what my expectations are here. We could do a budget for this. Now, if you could get with that, I'm great. But that's about it.
Man, Sean has got the violin out with the onesie pajama on today. He say he gonna defend her at all costs. Kirsten, I need you to contact my boy ASAP Rocky. Okay, I need you to contact because he's drowning. Okay, drowning. But no, I appreciate the perspective. Actually, it's actually a good perspective in terms of communication. I mean, I'll be fair in that aspect, right? And I think in that conversation with the 1 million, I was triggered too. But I did see what you were saying about the fact that there could have been a conversation where he could have just been like, "Look, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. This is what I'm hearing." So one of the exercises we do sometimes with couples when I'm coaching them is, what are you actually hearing? Because and I'm not even going to say, listen, it's just him. You know, I will talk about her as well, but just maybe how he could have maybe potentially handled that a little bit better. It's just a point of correction that could have been done a little bit better is instead of reacting to the fact that he might have already assumed that it's 2.9. I mean, I thought it was 2.9 you're talking about. So me personally, I don't know why you joking them jokes, but we'll get on to her in a second. But he already is assumed that it's going to be that 2.9 million or 3 million, whatever, house or whatever. And his response is to the too great of expectation that's going to be placed upon his shoulders, which induces a fear, which makes it very hard to then be able to respond accordingly as you need to with Kirsten, right? So instead of, like you said, Sean, about maybe going, hey, look, let's break this all the way down. Here's what we actually can afford. This is when I'm looking to potentially get a home. You know what I mean? I'm looking at a situation, and right now I'm looking at my finances. I'll be honest with you. If I work at the pace I'm working at, maybe the next 5 years, I'm going to be able to afford a home. You know what I mean? And he can lay it out that way and say, look, the next 5 years, I think I can afford a home. Once I've paid off my student loans, I'm paying this amount of money, It could have been like you said, a pennies conversation. So then that would have been a different situation. But I think he did respond a little bit in the expectation, also a bit of the fear in terms of that expectation being placed on him, which is a fair point. Then I want to go to the other side. Number one, I'm going to say this. You wanted a man that was going to be solid and strong. And he came up and told you, this ain't it. So this wasn't the time for you to start fighting back, because this is what you said you wanted, right? You said you wanted that assertive man. You said you wanted that man that's going to tell you, listen, hey, you know, this is what I want. This is what I want to go with things, right? And instead, you ended up eating your salad, knowing that he was talking to you, and kept on eating your spaghetti salad or whatever you're eating, and you intentionally didn't keep your head up. And when someone's talking to you about a deep subject, you can see they're getting a little bit annoyed. When you continue eating your salad, you are passively aggressively ignoring that, passively aggressively moving. You know exactly what you're doing. If my partner is getting angst in front of me, I can hear it in their tone, I can kind of see it a little bit in the corner of my eye, and I continue going, I'm going to keep my head down. What you're saying is I'm trying to avoid the topic in general, rather than actually saying, let's have a conversation. If that's not a conversation, let's have it another time, right? So that was, I saw that part and I said, yeah, let's not do that. Number two, I think this goes back to what JR and Trey were actually saying. I don't know why you make a joke about buying a house when you're not joking, but you are joking. I need you not to do that. Yeah? I need you not to do that, right? Like if you're saying that you wanted me to buy us a house, I need you to tell me that's what you're actually saying. And don't don't try to play it in different perspectives by going, first and foremost, what if I have kids? If I push out your kids, I want a house as a push gift. Then the next thing is, I expect you to buy a house because I see other people whose husbands have bought them a house, right? Then the next thing is, my daddy was a great provider, so I want you to buy a house. Okay, ma'am, I need you, okay, to get in an order, okay, and I need to get yourself in check, okay, all right. So, I need you to get yourself in check in this particular instance, right? There is no need for her to have done that. If you want a house, right? Again, if you want a house, and this is why I said that, you know what? He was right to call her out in that moment when they were in the house, because once you start saying, I expect you to buy a house for me, what I'm hearing is very much selfish. Number one. Number two, context wise, we are not in that place in a relationship. So I'm gonna be honest with you, it's looking like you're trying to run me for money. And then you make a joke about how, you know, I'm gonna pay for the house, but you're gonna put your name on the deed. And we don't have a good relationship like that already. So now it looks like you're trying to take me for a dickhead and take me for an idiot. You know what I mean? Now it's making it look like you're trying to take me for a real mug. Then I spent the majority of the first few weeks trying to fight for your love, trying to fight for your affection. Now, of course, he contributed towards that. We agree, and I agree with that, Sean, right? But you know, I spent a majority of time fighting the bold jokes, and I'm being funny at the wrong time, and yet you are doing the exact same things you're accusing me of and doing it in that moment. Right? So we can say that she was joking. We can say that, you know what, she wasn't being too serious. But the fact of the matter is, you can't hold me accountable for being jokey and funny. And then you do the exact same thing in an inappropriate moment when I'm pushing back and I'm telling you, yo, this kind of stressing me out the way you're kind of talking about the situation. You see what I'm saying to you? So in that case, I've got to hold you accountable in that instance. You can't run that game like that. And then you can't gaslight me at the end by saying you weren't joking, but you are joking. Which one were you doing, Kirsten? Were you joking or were you not joking? Can't gaslight me at the end, sitting on the table eating spaghetti in your mouth, trying to gaslight me and trying to tell me that you weren't joking, but you were joking. Do you know what I'm saying? Like at that point, no, at that point, I'm gonna pull you up. I'm like, sorry, let's pull it up. Let's rewind the tape because we're not doing this. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And then to be in that moment, like, oh, you really are trying to trip. At that point, I knew she had lost all respect for him. At that point, when she started saying, oh, so you really are on a trip today. Okay, cool. She does not have no respect for him. Okay, none. Okay, all right, none. There's none. Okay, this is not even about how she finds him attractive or not. She has no respect for him because, number one, she does not respect him as a man. It's that simple, right? I keep saying it. She keeps making these little comments. All right, honey, listen. When you start saying, I told you guys when she was doing that, and that's why next week we said a preview about them asking about, do you respect, does it need to be more masculine in a sense? Because she kept on making these little comments. This one, she did it by the plants last time. All right, honey. And I said, oh, she doesn't respect him as a man. It's that simple because and I told you guys last week what she needs. She needs a thug. I told you this and you don't want to believe me. She needs a thug, okay? She needs an educated thug who's going to be out in them streets selling that educated cocaine. I'm joking, but she needs a thug. She needs a little bit of a roughneck around the way. Okay, why are you disagreeing with me, Sean? Tell me why you disagree. Go for it.
No, because you went too far. You went off the proverbial cliff with the thug. Because I just disagree. She needs somebody that can hold her accountable and talk to her, you know, calmly when she's going off the ledge. You cannot. It's like if we both flying off the hook, you're not. It's not going to work. And look, for anybody saying I'm capping for Kirsten, oh yeah, no doubt about it. Do I find her fine? But any woman that I'm married to, I don't have a problem with buying her a house. My wife. I don't even know why this is such a big deal. It's not a big deal to me. We could take Kirsten off the table. Any woman that I'm getting to the point where we're walking down an altar and marrying and saying vows to each other, I have no issue with buying a house for you. I have no issue with paying all the mortgage. That's not an issue for me. Again, I understand people have their preferences and everybody can live the way that they want to live, but I am traditional in that regard. I don't have a problem with paying for the mortgage. I don't. And again, remove Kirsten off the equation. Any woman. I told you my own experience from being married. Almost akin to it. You know, so like at the end of the day, you know, were there things around the house, you know, because look, I'm going to be real. I could not imagine having that house. And as much as our marriage didn't work out, I can't take away the fact that she took care of that house from end to end and I never had to worry about anything. So for me, and this is because I knew what I was marrying, I knew the kind of woman and the capabilities and the skill set that she had. So I didn't have to worry. So it wasn't worth me. I'm not going to complain about paying 90% of the mortgage or 100%. You're taking care of my house. You're washing my clothes. You are taking care of me. Those things are invaluable. So for me, I don't get caught up in all these things because I think I'm going to fight where are you truly peace? Are you doing the things that we have committed to? Are we able to work together? Are we able to have, a working relationship where we're building and growing? That for me is important, but I'm not going to fight and tussle with you over, am I paying the mortgage? Am I not? It doesn't matter to me. And I'm going to do the things that I need to do to take care of my household, right? Now, if we want more, right? If you're telling me, okay, this is what I can afford, but you want next level, yes, then you're going to have skin in the game. So that goes without a doubt. But if you're like, hey, listen, I want to be at XYZ, then this is what we can do together. And I think I just don't know why it has to be a cap because a man says that. There are plenty of men that believe that and flow with that. And I think that's okay. And there's men that are fine with 50-50. There's men that fine with any other situation, and that works for those men in relationship with women that are fine with that too. But I don't have a problem with it.
We appreciate you, Sean, for backing her up. But let me just challenge you back. Let me push back on your pushback. Okay, let me push back on your pushback. None of us are complaining about paying the mortgage or the bills. What we're complaining about is we don't know this woman from Adam, and she's moving recklessly bad. Okay, so this person, the relationship at the moment, does not have enough skin in the game for me to start thinking about buying a house with your ass when you don't even actually give me the attention that I need. That's the only thing I'm talking about. We're not talking about paying bills. I think all these gentlemen here would agree to pay bills. The bills is not the issue. The issue here is that this young lady, Kirsten, as fine as she is, figure all fine and melanin all popping, just looking good, just generally looking good. But the problem here isn't that. The problem is that her behavior is showing us somebody who is going to be disloyal, who's going to end up with a divorce at the end and half your goods. He is going to be on the manosphere side of things in about a year or two, crying his ass out, telling us how bad women are. And then I've got to do a review alongside you guys talking about how the men are always talking about bad women. But because Sean wanted to pander and tell him to go ahead and go forth and buy your house a mortgage with this young lady, now we've got to do a whole review on you too, Sean. Now I've got to throw you in with him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying that in this reality, in all jokes aside, that because there's not enough skin in the game between the two of them, and she hasn't put the groundwork in for him to trust her to a point where I'm going to buy an asset that I'm going to pay for myself. I'm not about to take that risk. In fact, I would never encourage a man to take a risk in this instance, in that particular form, right? Because right now you've taken this risk to be married at first sight. If you leave the relationship or you leave the marriage at 8 weeks and you go your separate ways, fine. Better yet, if you want to do this, Kirsten, if you really believe in this marriage, put some money down first. Then I'll really know you're about it. Then at the end of the 8, give it a year, I'll take over. Then I know you're serious. Put some skin in the game. Otherwise, keep quiet because you're demanding, not asking. And that is insulting. It's insulting because you don't have no skin in the game and you're demanding of me, telling me to buy you a house. You don't have skin in the game. What, because you gave me one night of poussoir, you think you can demand from me? How dare you? The audacity. It's sounding very much like caucasity to me. Crystal wants to go and then I'm going to get the guys in as well. And then I'll get the guys. Let's keep the energy going. You know, like the pushbacks are coming in, you know?
I'm going to push back on Sean a little bit too. Okay, so Sean, while he's sitting there chomping on that salad. And now I think he was annoyed at that point. It's like, okay, let me get you a napkin. Or she said, can you get me a napkin? He was annoyed at that point because he is holding her accountable. He said, oh, well, now you don't want to talk about it. So we got to stop talking. Every time Kristen always gets what she wants. You don't want to talk about it? Well, I want to talk about it. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to get to a point where we can talk about it. It's always what Kristen wants. Now, you want me to be serious? Let's be serious and let's have a conversation. And she wants to laugh and joke. Oh, it's no big deal. Yeah, the card, she wasn't serious. But this house, she was joking, not joking. She was serious. She may not have been wanting a $2.9 million house. I agree with you on that. But she wants this man to buy her a house after last week. She didn't like his face. She didn't like anything about this man. So now that, 4 days later, now you want me to buy you a house? I don't even know you like that. And this is my last point. I'll move on. it also reminded me that none of these couples have talked about the financial situation. Last season or every other season, we've gotten to a couple that we had Jose and the Spanish couple that was like, he was on his second or third house. We've all had these financial situations by now. And this time we don't have the financial situation. We know that he's an educator and he's probably making much less than she is. That's all we know. But we also know real estate. We don't know how long she's been an agent. That's ups and downs. That's peaks and valleys. You might sell a big house for $1 million, and then 6 months later not sell anything. So we can assume that whole conversation reminded me that we have not had that conversation about finances with any of these couples. So that's it.
V, we haven't heard from you. Go for it, and then I'll get the boys in.
I think she was joking about buying the house, but I think it was a test to see if he would be willing to be a provider. But I find it kind of funny how everybody's saying he doesn't know her enough to buy a house, but he knows her enough to smash. I believe if you know I'm right, Kojo. All of them went on mass. They're already married. We're meeting parents. We're doing all this stuff. Can we talk about buying a house? What's the problem? Buy me a shack. I don't see the problem. But I do realize that she has not invested a thing, and she acts a little off sometimes when she's talking to him because she does not respect him. I don't think she thinks he's masculine enough at all. I'm waiting for her to say, "Hey, girlfriend. Hey, girl." I'm waiting for it to slip because I've done that to people before. But I'm waiting for it. But I don't think she sees him as manly at all. And that was a test. That's why she brought up her dad and all the people that she knows, which is wrong, who have purchased houses for their women. And she sees that as a part of providing. So I think that, yeah, if you know me enough to lay up with me and smash, you know me enough to go ahead and put my name on that deed. That's it. That's all.
Which one of you boys wants to go first to address this?
I can go.
After that, we'll keep. Go for it. Yep.
Listen, that smash is not worth 2.9 million. Yeah. And also, let's be real. After what season? What episode are we on? 13. So you're talking about 10 plus weeks of not feeling the brother at all, not giving him no play, no time of day. 10 weeks. The honeymoon's finished. The wedding day, you didn't get no kiss. Like all the time you spent together, you weren't getting closer like that. So yeah, that's unrealistic, man. The intimacy has nothing to do with whether you deserve a house or not, right? Obviously, as a couple, it should be something you speak about, like in terms of where you see your future going. But they can't even think that far ahead because you're not attracted to him. So what's he going to be thinking about when my lease is up? Yeah, we're going to buy a nice house. Up to last week, he hadn't even got a kiss. Man had to dig out the chocolate body paint and paint pictures on her to even get anything. All right? So, look, man, Shaq better say absolutely not on decision day. Doesn't matter about this. The intimacy part should have been something that was established a long time ago. And just because you and with regards to the family situation, he hasn't met her dad yet. So she ain't even comfortable introducing him to her family yet. So another reason why he shouldn't be buying a house yet. How can you be ashamed of the brother where you don't want to kiss him, you don't want to do anything with him, and you don't even want to bring him around your folks? But yet you want a $2.9 million house. That's just nonsense. In this current climate, credit crunch, banks folding and closing and all them thing there. And you want man to take out a big mortgage for 2.9 million. Insane.
Thank you, JR. Trey. And then we're going to go to a speed round. So go for it. After you.
You know, Miss V, how you doing? I actually agree with about I'm gonna say 97% everything you said. I was like, she got a point. I get you. That's what's up. You know, until you went to well, she gave him the poussoir. So what has got to okay? But then you followed up behind it with all the reasons that we all agree with you that she really don't like him. And yet I will come back to you and say, yeah, she still gave up the poussoir. That's her decision. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Now about this $2.9 million house. Nah. Because Crystal brought up the great point. What was Crystal? Actually, we all did. I just met you. Not even 2 months ago. You already trying to calculate when my lease is up, you should be buying this house for me. I think this is the point that we keep coming back to. It really is not about the house. Because if, just keep it real, if he's a man about his salt or anything, yes, you should provide. Absolutely. Go buy a house for your family. Your family. Our family. She said me. Me. Buy me a house. Buy me a car. It's all about her, not about the family. That's the red flag about all of this. At least when it comes to Kirsten. So all of this talk, oh, I'm worth this, I'm worth that. Listen, just keep it real. You are only, I hate to say it like this. You are only worth whatever your market value is at the time. Man or woman. Do I need to break that down a little bit? Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right, Sean. You want me to break that down? Yeah, you are only worth whatever your market value is. And unfortunately, you only have but so much to set your own market value for. You only have so much a percentage of that. Usually is how everybody else perceives you. You might be worth all that because what you put forth, people see it, they're like, you know what? That woman, she this, she that, whatever. She might be worth for that. Yeah. Then again, I don't know. Because you obviously don't like this dude. You don't respect this dude. And you still gave up the poussoir. I don't know. It seemed like your market value went down a little bit. But that's just my opinion. Just my opinion. You know, bad management. That's what it looked like to me. Bad management. You know. But hey, I'm gonna let it go. I'm getting outside of myself.
No worries at all. All right, guys, we got a little quick speed round. Then we'll get everyone's different thoughts. You're going to get 30 seconds. I'll let you know when your 30 seconds is getting up. Someone else jumps in if you disagree the point or you agree the point, whichever way. But we want to hear your thoughts on Kirsten and Shaq. 30 seconds each. You know what I mean? So I'll go first. First and foremost, I still think that she needs a thug. I'm just going to say it again. I still think she needs a thug. I also think she's delusional when it comes to her father. I'm going to be very honest with you because your father had a house that had you in 1 or 2 rooms and you're telling me he was a great provider. My friend, I need this to change immediately ASAP, Rocky. And you're placing those daddy issues of expectations on a man who is not your daddy. Okay? All right? So that's me. I'm just going to say that straight. If anyone disagrees, you can jump in and say or agree. Let me know your thoughts. You got 30 seconds when you go.
Yeah, I think it's unfair to say that she needs a thug. I think the opposite of what she has does not mean thug. It just means somebody that is more assertive, that is able and attuned to meet her needs, someone that is able to work through conflict with her in a respectful way. I don't think that's a thug. And I definitely don't think based on the way she's talking and the things that she wants, it's going to be a thug that fills that void. I do think there's room for Kirsten to work through any trauma she has, her daddy issues, and her level of delusion.
Thank you, Sean. Who's next? Who's at top of the batting cage? Go for Kristen.
I think she's had plenty of thugs in the past, and now she's trying to change things up and have something different. And I don't think Kirsten knows what she wants, and we can tell that from that blank house that she is currently in, and that she's looking at other people and other couples to validate her and to figure out what she wants, and she's in this outside looking in. I also remember the the after party where Kirsten kind of got back rebutted, what's his name, Eris, and Eris said, as a man. Okay, sorry,
y'all. Crystal. Sorry, that's okay. It's okay. No worries. Who's next? V looks like she's ready to go. Go for it, V.
I think she needs that strong, educated brother from the bank with good benefits, and that's Sean. We need to go ahead and get her on the phone and hook Sean up. He's gonna make sure he doesn't mess her up with the whipped cream. He's gonna show her the different plans. He's gonna teach her how to buy a house. He's gonna provide. He's gonna caress her back. All that good stuff. I think we need to connect Sean with Kirsten. I think it would be amazing.
Who wants going to share? Trey, who wants going?
Yeah, I don't think she needs a thug, but she needs someone with hair, and she needs someone that is going to treat her like the so-called princess that she wants to be treated like. I wouldn't wish that upon my man Sean, because she will run him ragged with that good job he has and all the access to mortgages and property and things that he might be able to achieve. So no, I just think she needs someone that is going to ground her in reality, and also just keep it real with her. Don't be blunt, don't be rude, but just keep it real, so she's grounded at all times.
Love that. Trey?
It's a combination of what Kojo and Crystal said. I do think, well, she's had thugs in the past, but she's trying to want something different now. So Sean maybe can step up. Who knows? I wouldn't do it, brother. I don't do it. But if you wanna put yourself out there, hey, I tell you to come back from the cliff, but you keep walking. I'm gonna pray for you, brother. Hope you got a parachute. Okay.
So I hope you got a parachute. I just want to quickly say, I mean, I definitely hear you guys' points. So I would say, you know, in terms of this thug situation, the only reason why I'm saying that is because I feel like she also is emotionally not intelligent. I really don't think she's emotionally intelligent. And out of the men that are left who are going to be that super assertive that you want with no emotional intelligence, usually end up being some thug way. Doesn't mean you're going to sell crack on the street. Just mean you got a thuggish tendency in his spirit. Go for it. I know Sean wants to disagree. Go on, Sean. Defend your quine.
No, I this is where I have to disagree. And, you know, I appreciate everybody putting Kirsten on me, but it's, you know, look, at the end of the day, I'm going to stand on, you know, what I feel is right and what I feel is wrong. And I don't think that's the case. And as somebody who has been married, I thought she had good in terms of like when they were getting into the disagreement. And when Shaq was giving her pushback, he even was getting a little nasty with her. And she didn't go off the rails. She did not raise her voice. Those, to me, are signs that somebody who can work through a little bit of conflict. And she also, you know, tried to tell him to walk it back a little. She was like, I'm not going there with you, because he was continuing to escalate. So for me, somebody that has that level of awareness of where the situation is going, again, I'm not saying she's right. She's the one that created the argument for them to be talking about it. But she was not like going at him where I could see it equates to her needing a thug, because she's not backing down. She always comes down. She's acquiesces to him. So I don't think she needs a thug. She just needs somebody that can handle her.
Time up, Sean. Thank you. You signing out of the camera too.
No, that was a mistake.
You gonna get this mic drop. Anybody want to agree or disagree with Sean, what he's saying? You got your 30 seconds to disagree or agree with him. Or if you've got a different point completely, you can take it elsewhere. Yes, Trey.
Parachutes. Make sure you have a parachute. That's all I'm going to tell you, bro. Make sure you have a parachute. It looks like a long way down in that Kirsten Valley. Be careful.
Okay. Via JR or Chris?
I agree that she doesn't seem emotionally intelligent to me. I don't know if it's, you know, I don't want to say editing or whatever. It seems like there's no depth there. She could be a genius for all we know. She just started really opening up and divulging everything. And a lot of time she's very, very beautiful. I see why Sean is acting up. But she's very, very beautiful. But the pool doesn't seem deep. either that's what's being portrayed on TV. So she'll definitely need to find somebody that's willing to dive in and actually try to figure out what she's thinking and what she actually wants and meet those goals. Because at least we know she wants a house. And she told us that much.
I disagree with Sean. He said that she doesn't acquiesce to what's his name. She didn't want to tussle on this time, but she hardly ever opens up. He is constantly trying to get this girl to open up. And this one last time, this is where my parents live. What are you talking about? So I think this girl has been a closed book this whole time. And I think this one night, she's like, it's not that deep. You want to have a conversation about cars and you want to go back and forth with me. And this is just not the time. And I think that she just wasn't here for this one conversation. So yeah, I don't think that's it.
Cheers.
Yeah, I would say, listen, she's not even emotionally intelligent of herself, because she struggled to open up and even have conversations about meaningful things, even on the after parties. Like, she hasn't shown any great ability to converse about herself. So I do detect a lack of depth, but I think she is not completely silly. I don't think she's, a dum-dum or anything, because she spotted that $2.9 million house from maybe last week. And then the body paint came out, and then now she's made the demand for it. Like, she's calculated, trust me.
Trey, are you ready? Okay, that's the end of the speed round there. Any last thoughts? You get a minute or two just to kind of round up your last thoughts. Anything that you felt you missed or you didn't get to address about Kirsten and Shaq before we move on? Any last thoughts around them?
Last thing, and then we can totally move on. At the after party, she was upset that Shaq told all the other castmates, or at least a couple of castmates, I'm upset that that I haven't met her father, but she hadn't said anything to Shaq. And she was upset that Shaq is talking to them, but not talking to her. I'm like, girl, you did the same thing to the girls with Nicole. Nicole's putting letters under your door for him to make a move. I feel like she does the same thing and then she gets mad. That's it. Okay,
that's the gaslighting
Sean.
we're talking about. That's the gaslighting we're talking about. Yep. Anyone else have any final thoughts they wanted to add on to that? They wanted to.
Yeah, I think
go for it.
Yeah, I think Jasmine and Shaq should be together, and Eric should be with Kirsten. He's gonna drag her, but she's gonna have a good time on the ride where he's dragging her too. And while he's trying to figure out eye contact, she can be trying to figure out a deep conversation to talk about. I think they'd be a good fit. So,
anyone else with any last thoughts on Kirsten and Shaq? No. All right, cool, fantastic, great section. I love the ending there as well. I see everyone defending their points sternly and strongly, and well done to the panelists on that particular part as well. All right, cool. Let's talk about another couple. I'm gonna talk. I think we should talk about Chris and Nicole. I wanted to talk about Jasmine and Aris, but they're not really giving me much. I mean, Aris is he's only blurting his heart out, and Jasmine is saying no. So I wanted to get your thoughts on Chris and Nicole, because old girl keeps telling us that she's gonna turn into, she's doing Thriller on Married at First Sight. Honestly, she's doing Thriller on Married. She's like, I'm not like other girls, okay? You know what I mean? And like, it's like, babe, what is it? Are you gonna turn to a Wolverine? Like, have you got superpowers? Like, do you need to go back to your planet that you came from? Like, sis, you acting like there's a mad, like, have you got a criminal record that we don't know about? Like, you crazy? Like, sis, because the way you keep talking about certain things, it gives me pause to think that maybe there's something deeper and darker that you're not telling us. That's happening with Chris and Nicole underneath the surface. So I'm wondering what you guys' thoughts were about Chris and Nicole, because they had quite a few different conversations. At the very beginning, they had a conversation about, she spoke about her family and how, she got into trouble and how she hung out with the wrong crowd, and she only did that because she actually didn't say why. She just said that she was doing that. I think the parents' breakup probably did affect her a lot. And it sounds like she came from a dysfunctional background, because that behavior she's talking about, an attachment style, comes from inconsistent love. So maybe there was something in that as well. What was you guys' thoughts on, Nicole's It's gone close to midnight. There's something evil lurking in the dark. Go for it, Sean.
Yeah, I wish Seaway was here so we could tell her she was right, because she said Nicole has a gymnast build, and it came out this episode that Nicole was in fact a gymnast. So hey, look, I'm glad that I acquiesced very early on and apologize. It pays to apology to render an apology. I'll say, I know we didn't get to discuss that yesterday, but that's a horse of a different feather. What I will say is I'm tired of her band camp stories. And then at band camp, and then this happened, and this happened in 1992, and then in 1994. So I'm really kind of over this. It's like, why are we talking about things that happened in high school? You cut school and you lied. Okay, a lot of people did. I didn't go to gym for a whole semester, and I had to take a CPR class at the Red. I had to take a CPR class so that I can graduate. Am I going to be telling that to my future wife? And this is what my trauma? No, I just couldn't get up early, and I missed gym for the whole last semester of my senior year. And this is what I had to do. It's like, come on. It's almost like she wants herself to be this bad girl. It's like she's punishing herself. It's self-deprecating. I'm really kind of tired of the stories. I understand some level of trauma that you want to share, but it's like we don't need to always talk about the bad things that we went through. Are you trying to scare him away? Are you trying to self-sabotage? At a certain point, I just want to understand, what is the point? Why are we talking about things that you did in high school? I'm really getting over it. I want us to talk about the now. Let's talk about our future. Let's talk about how we're going to manage relationships. And Chris just looks at her, and then they have that goofy scene where she's got on that mustache. Look, he entertains her. So I think that's a big part of relationships, is if you can tolerate somebody at their silliest and goofiest and it doesn't get on your nerves, then that goes a long way, because that stuff would definitely aggravate me. And I just think she just needs to stop focusing on the negative parts of her past, right? There's all things, I'm sure, if we sat and dredged them up, that we could talk about, but I think we got to move on at a certain point.
I hear you on that. Who else wants to tackle? Yes, Crystal, go for it.
This was an advertisement of, after you get divorced, to make sure you discipline your kids. I feel like she even said, I wish I had the discipline. She went through as soon as my parents got divorced, I was just a wild kid. They didn't check on me. I just did whatever. And she was like, I wanted the discipline. I was going wherever with my friends. They didn't care. Nobody disciplined me. And that she was doing all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, gosh, you have all of these stories. What do you feel guilty about? Okay. The guilt's there. You feel guilty about something. But I was like, girl, make sure you discipline your kids after divorce, where her parents feeling guilty and just letting her run wild and not checking on her. And so she was trying to find somebody to tell her not to do something. She was just doing whatever to get somebody to tell to find the love, because she wasn't getting it from her parents. And I was like, girl, just I feel bad for you that you didn't have that, but now your parents apparently feel guilty about it. Now they're there. They're in your life. So come on, come back to 2023. And he's just listening, and he's like, I wouldn't want to be with the type of person she used to be. But he does look troubled, and also in his past, he had an alcoholic father, and that actually that kind of explains to me why he is kind of meek. And I've seen other movies like this, whereas the children of alcoholic parents, either they're super nice and quiet, and they just go inside themselves, or they become wild and crazy and they become alcoholics too, or abusive in other ways. So, and he took on that other persona. So now that kind of explains to me why he is the way he is. And he even said, I wish I would have spoken up because my mother would have listened. And so I was like, okay, so you recognize that you should speak up sometimes, but he still doesn't know how to find his voice. So that explains to me. But I just feel like, girl, just okay, just explain to me. You're just like trying to just verbal diarrhea everything that you used to be. So will he like me? Will he love me? And because after my parents divorced, no, but I was trying to find love anywhere. I was okay. That's it. They'll be together though, from what I can see. And I just think that she's always trying to prove herself. She's always trying to prove that she's worthy. That's it.
Um, I had a quick question. Was it his father that was the alcoholic, or was it one of her mom's boyfriends?
A step
I thought
a stepfather.
it was the stepfather. Okay,
Yeah, that
stepfather.
her mother got with after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got confused for a second. Um, Nicole. Every time I see Nicole, she gives me a woman that's waiting for the other shoe to drop, but she's holding the shoe, which is weird. Like she's holding the shoe here, keeps warning him like, "Oh God, I don't want him to find out certain things about me and well, how he's going to react," and she keeps downing herself. Now the funny thing is, I did notice there when she was opening up and talking about some of the things of her past with not that actually some of the things that wasn't that good. Chris did say in his own little confessional, which he probably should have said to her, but he didn't. That's interesting. He did say like, yeah, she did sound like some of my exes, so that gave me a concern and whatnot. I went, well, why you didn't tell her that? He does tend to do this. Okay, if he does have an issue, he'll tell us the audience, but he won't tell her to her face right away. That's a thing. So you probably need to keep a lookout for. But Nicole it's almost like she is literally. It's almost like she is low key trying to self sabotage herself in this relationship. You know, and she doesn't need to because it seems to be going okay for the most part. They seem to get along okay, but the way she keeps it's almost like in her mind at least for this particular situation, Chris is probably been the best boyfriend, guy, man that has ever treated her halfway decently. So now in her mind, she's got to the point where, oh my God, I don't want to be the one that messed this up. You know what I'm saying? But without realizing that by her trying not to mess up so much, she's messing it up. You know what I'm saying? Because Chris is still seeing this, how he's reacted to it. He's trying to be supportive and just sit there and listen and whatnot. But in the back of his mind, he's looking like, all right, this is a lot here. Okay, this is okay. You ain't need to tell me all of this. Okay, that's cool, but this is a lot. And yeah, she is almost like she's going overboard with trying to reassure him without actually reassuring him of anything. Because in nowhere in some of these stories that I hear or see how she bettered herself because of it. Like, I'm not that person anymore. You know what I'm saying? I have changed because of this. Most of it's just trauma that she never dealt with, really. You know, so to me, that just seems like trauma that's probably going to come back up at some point in time in their future. So that's a little bit concerning for me. I still think they're going to work. I still think they're probably going to go forward. We'll just see how it goes down the line. So.
Yeah, like I definitely agree with a lot of what Trey said because Nicole seems to keep referring to the old her, right? And the old her still has the same issues as the new her. It's like she hasn't gotten over some of the things that happened whether it's in her childhood or her early, dating experiences. And I agree. Like when she received the bracelet before the wedding, she instantly was smitten with Chris because she thought that was the most thoughtful thing that any guy's ever done for her, right? And he's done a few other things that have made her feel like that too. So I don't doubt for a single second that there's something about Chris that makes her feel like he is the best partner, boyfriend, husband, that she's ever been with so far. But the problem I see with Nicole is that, and much like Chris, is that these issues, until she overcomes them, and it may be therapy, it may be some other means, I don't know, but if you keep referring to things that happened to you in your past, then you're not over them. And what that will do is carry over into your relationship. So there may be times when you're triggered or you're feeling emotional about something, and it may not necessarily be something your partner did. But because of how you're feeling, you then vent or rant and take and unload that onto your partner. And that's what happens when you don't take care of business. You don't take care of things that should be taken care of to make you in the best position to present your best self for the relationship that you have. So I definitely see an element of self-sabotage. And for Chris, he always seems like an empty vessel. Like, I know he was doing impressions and he does have a funny side to him, apparently, right? But he is mostly walking around like he's moping. And that, that energy between the two of them, that synergy that they have, yeah, it doesn't seem happy, healthy. And I'm not saying that it can't get there, because there is an attraction there, and there seems to be a genuine want to try and hear each other out and progress in the relationship. And most importantly, there's no weaponizing of anything that's been shared. That's very important. So I think they're providing a safe space for each other, but I also think they're both coming with too much stuff that is unresolved from previous instances, and that's going to complicate things. But saying all of that, I still have high hopes for this couple working out.
Yeah, I don't see them working out. It might work, but it might happen way after decision day, but I don't see them working out. Only because Chris in his confessionals never has anything positive to say about Nicole. In front of her, he's going along, he's people pleasing, probably scared she's gonna put him in a headlock. I don't know, but I don't feel like they are trauma bonding. They're going on to get along. And I really believe at the end, he's gonna, all these things that she's telling him, what Sean calls the band camp stories, he's gonna tally all that up. And at the end say, this is the reason why we can't be together, or this isn't gonna work out. And I feel like because of the divorce, she has abandonment issues. So she keeps putting out the worst about her and letting him see it and saying, see, look at this. Do you still want me? Do you still want me? Do you still want me? It's that type of game that she's playing. So, and I feel like she's also one of those people that puts on a facade, want the relationship to look perfect in front of everybody, when in actuality, she might not be happy. He definitely doesn't look happy. And him being super emotional, hence the dog situation, I think it's a recipe for a disaster. They're going to ride it along as long as they can, but at the end, she's going to drain him. And like I said, I think he's a manipulator. I personally, you guys looking at Nicole, I look at Chris. He doesn't seem like a good match for me, but they're going to ride it along. And then at the end, he's going to say, you're too much for me and I'm out. So I don't see it working or lasting.
Personally, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm just tired of her stories, to be honest. I could have told you it's close to midnight, and it doesn't need to be always close to midnight. Poor Chris is frightened the heck out. Look, he's not saying anything because he doesn't know how to say anything, but he is frightened the heck out. Okay, this is why he said about keeping your leases for 9 months. Okay, not that because he's broke or anything, but because literally he's thinking to himself, it's close to midnight, and you keep talking about being close to midnight. This is concerning. You know what I mean? And yeah, I know she said, "Oh, but I got to tell you everything just in case. I don't need to find out anything later on." What am I going to find out later on? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not telling any girls anything. Like, yo, just gotta let you know. Obviously, like I gotta let you know everything right now because some things may come out later on. That means I'm prepping you for something to come out later on. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like her anxiousness and her fear of something coming out later, which I don't think there's anything necessarily going to come out later on. I just think that she has a fear. And she's trying to make sure she's said everything on the table, so there's no chance of her being rejected by him. I think she's trying to almost avoid the rejection by like, okay, if I put everything on the table, then he knows everything. Nothing later on will make him feel like, oh my gosh, something's popped up, I'm gonna leave now. You know what I mean? So she's trying to get everything on the table. I don't know. I'm like, it's a bit too much for me, every time you're giving us another sub story about the situation. But yeah, I don't know if she's, I don't know, I doubt anything crazy is gonna come out, but I think she's just trying to get ahead of the devil. You know what I mean? Yeah. Any other thoughts, guys? One question, Nicole. It's close to midnight.
Yeah. Well, another thing I don't understand is why she's over involved in everybody else's business. So that for me is also equally problematic because, listen, I'm not saying Chris is a saint and she's the devil. Definitely not saying that. I think outside of him, not letting, allowing her to have his dogs come and her dog be put in daycare or go with her dad or whatever. I think that's probably the only thing I can really think of that stood out to me about issues that we've seen on his side. But for her, she's overly involved in everybody else's business, slipping notes under doors, trying to give her own advice. Even on the after party, she's like Pearl from 227. I'm probably aging myself, but if anybody knows that show, Pearl was always in the corner on the stoop, leaning in and telling everybody what to do and watching everybody's business. And I think that's what she does. And people like that, they get too overly invested in other people's stuff as a mask to deal with their own issues. And I really think she needs to deal with her stuff. I don't know if she has been to therapy. If she has, she probably needs to go back. If she hasn't, she definitely needs to start a session so that she can really work through some of the things that she's been through, and even up until childhood through relationships, because she's all over the place. And I think it's just starting to come out. And Chris is like, every time he's like, oops, she reminds me of the girls that I used to be with that I didn't like. So it's kind of like the more she talks, the more he's getting his back up against the wall. Like, oh, shucks, is this something I should be looking out for? And I think it's just going to continue to make it difficult for them to really bond. We don't even see their connection now. And I'm not saying every couple needs to be like Stasia and Nate and, playing with the sex swings and having a blast like that. Although it was entertaining to watch. But I don't think I see their connection. I see more of this just talking. They just chat too much. It's just too much chatting about stuff that's not uplifting. And I think once you start doing that, you have to pace yourself. You can't do a crash course. And this is what I think with Nicole, and I'll finish here, is she wants to do this crash course. Like, let me catch you up on the last 20 years that you missed. No, ma'am. We do have time to get to know one another. Like, you don't have to give me the Cliff Notes version of your life and throw in everything traumatic that happened. Like, pace yourself, focus on your relationship, your connection, stay out of everybody else's business. That's what I think.
Sean kind of took the words out of my mouth. I was like, she ain't deep either. Like all we talk here is what happened in high school, what happened in her past, and what horrible things, you know, that she got into, or the bad connections that she had with bad people. Like I was like, and her mixing up with all these other couples and getting in other people's, being an interloper. I was like, she ain't deep either. And these confessionals, poor what's his name, Chris, and we've talked about this, that he's kind of troubling. I just don't think that he speaks in these confessionals. These confessionals are for them to say what's on their mind, and it seems like the producers have to drag stuff out of him. So they ask him a question so he can say something back. That's why he always phrases it like, "Yeah, if I had met her years ago, I wouldn't have been attracted to who she used to be." Like it's always like a one sentence. So I said, he's sitting there quiet as he usually is. He's just a quiet person, and she just takes up all the air in the room. And she ain't deep. Like she's getting in other people's business.
Internal lies. Any other thoughts on Chris and Nicole before we switch it? No? Okay. All right, cool. Let's switch it then. Appreciate your points, guys, as well. Let's talk a little bit then quickly about Clint and Gina, because they seem to be on a business contract. I can say that for free. They are on a business contract, okay? And you know what? Clint is such a nice guy that he's willing, you know, to play his role and let Gina get her business involved in this whole shenanigans and him be used in all of this. I think personally, out of the two who got a bad deal, Clint did. Okay, all right. Clint got the worst end of the stick out here. Okay, and she's now inviting her girlfriends to the house too. So you actively want me to cheat? That's what she's asking. She's actively asking me to cheat with one of your friends because you don't want to give me any attention that really is required from me. But you want to put your girlfriends in my living room whenever you get the opportunity to promote your business. Okay, no worries. No worries too. I'll be in that salon. Don't worry about that. Remember, we live in the same house. So just remember that. Okay. Yeah. Cool. But what's your guys' thoughts on Gina and Clint? What did you guys gather? What did you guys see? You know, what was your thoughts on this, guys? Business relationship or nah? There's not much to say about Gina and Clint. People don't want to talk about them, innit? Go on then.
You got to pick somebody like you usually do.
That's very true. Trey already opened his mic, so Trey, go for it.
Listen, Senator Clint is still on the campaign trail, and he got my vote. All right, got my vote. You know what I'm saying? She done brought her salon girls over to the house. Listen, he's giving his speeches to them. I saw one or two of them do a little lingo look to him, like, Gina, what's the problem? I mean, he kind of all right. What's the problem? I caught it. You know, careful with that, but I caught it. He is literally still trying, and I have to give him credit for that. He's trying. Gina acts like she's in it, but we know she's not. You know, she's just here to promote her business. This is what it is. You know, because I'm be honest, that lasagna didn't look all that good, but hey, you gotta kiss the babies when you're on the campaign trail. You know, kiss the baby, you know. So he ate that thing, he kept looking down. Yeah. I think the marriage would be okay. Nah, this wasn't it. That wasn't it. What was it? Yeah, they're just gonna ride this out. I don't even know if Clint will even be a yes on decision day. He should say no. He should be the first to say no. But the way he's talking, like he really wants to. Yeah, Coach was right. He got a short end of the stick. He really wants to be married and have a family. He wants that because he's the only husband that's outside of what happened in Jamaica is putting forth the actual effort that you should to get to know someone, to open up, talk, whatnot. You know, it's just, and Gina's not really giving nothing. She's just there so she won't get fined. You know, That's all it is, and it's kind of sad. I think Clint needs a redo. I don't think they ever did that on Man at First Sight before, but I think Clint needs a redo. Just bring him back next season and see what happens. Like I think he needs a redo.
I think that Gina pretty much chalked it up. It ain't no fun if your homies can't have none. So she just brought him over to see which one of her friends likes him. She knows she don't like that man, but he's not a bad man. She just doesn't like him. So she figured she would bring him around some other people and help both sides out, right? I'm sick of hearing about her salon, 2 sinks and a bottle of Head and Shoulders. It's not that serious. Stop showing us this. Overall, it's definitely a business transaction. They're boring. I kind of fall asleep on their parts. It's very hard to get through. There's no romantic chemistry at all. And poor Clint is just going along for the ride while this lady does her infomercial. I just feel bad for him. Feel bad.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, the thing that makes it boring is there's no chemistry, there's no physical attraction, there's no sense of them being in an actual relationship. This is more like housemates, flatmates. This is like a boring episode of Friends with just like them two in it. All right. She may be trying to promote her business or whatever, but he gets no benefit from that. He listen, I'm not even sure what Clint's motivation is, like what motivates him to be, as cordial and as, I mean, I get it. You don't want to beef or whatever, but there's not going to be a outcome 10, 12, maybe even 13 weeks into the process. Like, it's done. So he better say no, and she's going to say no for sure because she still don't like gingers. So, that's what makes it boring. That's the reality. It's like there's nothing going on with them, and her salon, okay, it's her business, it's her pride and joy, but it doesn't even look like it's had that much investment. So that might be what she's chasing, maybe more customers or whatever. But goodness, all she doing is running shampoo through a few people's hair. Like, that's it. In terms of what she would be as a wife, we haven't seen that because she hasn't put the effort in to be actually a wife like that. And I do detect, just like some of the other comments before, I do detect that he actually is willing to give it a try if he was given a better partner, to work with. So, yeah, I think the most excitement I can expect from this couple is when Clint kisses Dominique somewhere along the line. And I'll end it there.
I wrote down, does Gina have any family, or does she just have an uncomfortable family situation? Because we have not seen a lick of her family. They're all the same salon girls, came back a second time. And I agree with you. He is doing just all the politicking. He is politicking in that kitchen. And some of the girls are like, they kind of like Clint. JR just said, what does he get in return? I hope he gets Hank in the divorce, because she sure ain't gonna get Gina. I just feel bad. I actually, again, I thought it was gonna be Clint that was gonna be the issue, but it really is Gina just taking him through that hair salon. Okay, that's all. And he really wanted to be an adventure. He wanted to show his wife what he likes to do, and it's been really him acquiescing, as the Sean's favorite word, and showing around the salon and politicking with her salon girls and all of her little friends. And we really haven't seen him do the same thing in return and show her anything about him. So I'm just like, they're the best friends, Hopefully he gets Hank in the end. That's it.
Any last thoughts, guys? Anyone else?
Yeah, I think if
Yeah, Sean.
anybody, we were talking about emotional intelligence and self-awareness. I think she has zero, like none. Outside of them tussling back and forth on who's skinny and who's ginger, after that, I haven't heard any conversations with Gina from Gina about anything, and everything leads back to this salon. Her childhood issues somehow always circle back to the salon. It's her salon friends. At a certain point, it's like, lady, do you understand what's been keeping you single and keeping you out of relationships? You can't even pretend to talk about anything else other than what you do for a living. And again, if there's trauma that's attached to that, then you need to get healed from whatever trauma it is that you feel like you have to over focus, hyper focus on your work. And that's all you can talk about. That's all you surround yourself is with people that work for you. Like, it's weird. It's weird. And then even a little story one of her friends talked about, oh, Gina, she's always helpful. She's always helps and she never says no. Oh, come on. Who cares? That's what she's supposed to do. It's like getting a participation award. You're supposed to help the people that work for you. You're supposed to have patience. If you help them, they make money for you. So you don't get an award for that. It's like, come on, give me a break. Like Gina for president of the salon club. I'm just kind of over it. And I hope there's a whole bunch of scenes left on the editing room floor and they just want to pump this narrative about her being all into her salon because I'm really tired of it. It's like, talk about something else. Talk about what you want. Get to know him. And the poor guy, I feel bad for him because he is struggling. He's giving it a shot. He's giving it the good old college try for sure. And she just keeps circling back. I think she needs to, he just kind of needs to tell her, like, look, I'm kind of tired of this. I'm sleeping in the second bedroom. I'm close. I know more about your dog than I know about you. I don't want to meet your salon friends. I don't want them to come over. I don't want to host this game night, friend night conversation. What are we doing here? Are we going to play this or are we going to make tomorrow the divorce day? Because I'm tired of this nothingness. It's nothing. We look at nothing every week for the last few weeks with them. It's barely a friendship. I couldn't even exist in a friendship that was like that, let alone somebody that I'm supposed to be married to. I'm done.
You're 100%. I ain't even mad at you, bro. I ain't even mad at you. Okay, I ain't even mad at you. All right, cool. Let's shift it. Last couple we're going to talk about is Jasmine and Aris. They we spoke last week about the getting deeper and sharing more intimate conversations, and Aris looks like he wants to try. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt since I gave Kirsten the benefit of the doubt. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe he is actually genuinely trying and trying to, get back into maybe try to see if this can go somewhere. And look, he took sex off the table. So unless he's trying to manipulate her into sex, I think he's taken off the table. He genuinely wants to try and see if he can actually connect with her. And he told a few of his background stories, what he had been through and what he had experienced. And I thought to myself, okay, maybe he is generally trying to turn the corner. At first, Jasmine was a little bit cold, but she seems to have slowly warmed up when she had to tell a little bit about her letter, but she didn't say much in her letter at all. I think she wants Aris to prove himself to her. Fair enough. But I want to get your thoughts. What do you guys think of the Aris and Jasmine situation? Aris said he's got a therapist. Yes, he did say that. He said he's got a therapist. He said he's got a therapist. He's working through things. And so, I wanna see what you guys see. Let's see what you guys feel about that situation with Aris and Jasmine. Give me your thoughts. Yes, Trey.
Is it with Eris opening up? Is this almost is this a almost too little too late moment because he's seeing Jasmine kind of checking out, and he like, wait, I can't have her check on me just check out on me just yet. So let me start opening up, be vulnerable. Because I'm be honest, they still haven't fixed or tackled the bigger issue that's been since the beginning of their marriage. He wasn't attracted to her. The only thing they did was sideline it until after decision day. The attraction thing. Did he put that with the sets and just be, hey, we're just gonna wait till after decision day to handle that? It kind of makes no sense to me. Like, what? You pretty much tell him what you're gonna do. It's gonna be a no. I ain't gotta worry about it. But that's the only thing I will give him credit for. At least he did not sleep with this woman. Because at least he has the wherewithal to know, if I sleep with her, it's going to make this situation worse. You don't want to do that. So I give him that. But that's about it. Jasmine, she needs to make up her mind. Either this man is not opening up to you. Okay? Whatever that is. He's now trying to open up to you. And he's really doing it, because he's telling you. I think that was very heavy. He should have told her this. I don't know who was he talking to, Kirsten, or who was he talking to when he made the statement. I've never told a woman about my father and the murder. Just that weird. He just doesn't bring it up. This is the first time he did with Jasmine. Who was he talking to?
That was on the after party. He said that he'd never done that before. That was the only person.
Yeah, which is a big thing. That's important. But you should have told Jasmine that. Because we know the after party is kind of after anyway. But that's something you should have told Jasmine, at least for some type of reassurance that you're in this relationship. I'm open up to you to things that I've never told anyone. But he's not a good communicator. So, yeah. I see your face, V. I see you over there. I know. You just don't like him. That's fine. That's fine. I don't think no one really likes him like that. It's fine. But we have to judge what he's actually been showing us. At this point in time, he's been opening up. At this point in time, Jasmine's like, no, I'm over it. Oh, wait, I think I still like him. I just don't know. She needs to make up her mind. We want to make up her mind for her. I see your face. You're like, girl, run. No. This is her marriage. This is her responsibility. She needs to figure out what she want to do. Either you're going to allow this man to be open with you and re-engage with him, or you're not. Because this little flip-floppy, it's making you look funny, because we still haven't gotten into her and how she's admitted to fall in love quickly. People who fall in love quickly can fall out of love very quickly when something doesn't go their way. What I'm saying? So to me, that's a little flip-floppy. She has a very flip-floppy attitude about some things. And I hope they don't play this story with her and Shaq. I do think her and Shaq should have been put together from the get-go. From get-go, Jump Street. That was the couple to put together. But I hope they don't fall into this mess. All of a sudden we find out after the show, Shaq and Jasmine. Yeah, I hope it doesn't go there, because it's just too much. Just stop it. But make a decision. Either you are or you ain't. Make a decision.
I don't like him. Point blank, period. Sorry, I do not like that man. Point blank, period. I don't care what sob story he's telling. I could care less. If I was Jasmine, he might as well be talking to a wall. He tried to act like he's being nice by saying that we don't need to do something until after decision day. V's theory. This is not Kojo's panel's theory. I honestly feel like he is with that cousin. Like, that's genuinely his old lady. And so he has to have an excuse not to do anything throughout the show. That's why he won't look her in the eye. He won't talk to her. He acts like she's the ugliest thing he's ever seen. But he doesn't want to be a villain. So now towards the end, he's singing a sad song, trying to get some empathy so everybody doesn't turn on him, the audience. I think the cousin is his old lady. Yeah, I said it. And I would not be giving him any more time of day. He would be talking to himself. I don't care what therapist he wants to talk to, who he wants to sing a sad song to. He would be in a room by himself. It was up to me. Divorce. We're out. We're out. Whatever fine we got to pay, I'm sure he can't afford it. We would be out. It would be over. I do not like that man. Sorry.
Ooh, V. Okay, y'all. Jasmine said so much this episode. Honestly, listen to what she said. She is now not interested. She said, all I need, she said, you know me, I just need him to be cute. I just needed him to be a little cute. And then the other attraction is how he treats me. Okay. She said, oh, my husband's what at the reception, my husband's what, 8 or 10. She was in. And the way he treated her, she is no longer in. He's no longer cute to me. So she is like, I'm hanging on, but I've totally backed. She's backed that truck up. That truck is now in that driveway. She was in the kitchen. She was there. She was doing it. She said he is no. All I needed him to be was a little cute, and then the way he treats me. Now she's like, he's not cute to me anymore, and he needs to try. He needs to try harder. He is now doing all the try harder, and yes, he is the type that you need some more time. I don't care. I was with V. You know, I called this man an a-hole a month ago. Now that he is trying, she's like, I'm a son. You should have tried a long time ago. You've taken the sex off the table. I'm a 4 or a 5. And now she's like, he's not even cute anymore. Now I've stopped trying. And I just don't blame her. I don't blame her. I'm sorry. Now you want to try harder. We got 2 months for you to do all this trying. I did think that she should have said a little bit more when he's doing and maybe the parent stuff maybe hits me, or, parents and kids, when he's reading that letter from his father. The fact that she was, I hope she said more off camera, because she was like, that's really sweet. I was like, you could have given him more than that. But other than that, she's like, he's not even cute to me no more. I'm sorry, but she's now gone in reverse. And he even said it on the after party. He said, I'm giving her some more grace because she is now where I was 2 weeks ago. So he sees it and he don't know what to do about it. So she said so much. She said so much. Y'all listen to what this girl said. All I needed him to be was cute. And then the other, and we as women, we do that. We don't need you to be fine. We don't need you. We always have this conversation on Kojo's show too. That it's the way you treat us. And she saw that he wasn't even treating her nice. And she, or because she was like, I like him. I like the way he's this. I love the way he's that. Like she was giving, Sean even said, stop giving him all these accolades. I said it. Coach said, we said, stop giving him all these accolades because he's not there. He's not worth all these accolades. Now she's like, I ain't giving him no accolade, nothing. I'm done. That's it for now.
Yeah, it's been game over for Aris and Jasmine for a long time, man. And Jasmine's finally taken the hint after all these weeks. And I think before she was trying to be positive, trying to be optimistic about what could flourish between them. But now the reality set in that it's not there. And it seems as if the only person he's gotten close to in this process is himself. Now he's writing letters and, reading letters from his childhood and things like that. And he's talked about, some of the things he's gone through. But in terms of establishing a connection with Jasmine, which is what he's meant to be there for, nah, he's never been interested in that. And you know, there was a private joke just now about maybe some consolation D. Listen, the only consolation D he needs to be giving her is the D for divorce. All right. That's the only consolation prize out of this, because it sets Jasmine free to be able to find somebody that, you know, can like her for who she is. And, you know, she can take this opportunity to really, you know, steer her in a better direction in terms of the partner she's looking for. But this is not it. Like, Aris has never been invested, never been interested. And even if he's showing the inkling of it now, it's too little, too late. It's just never been there. And I think, like, someone like Aris, we talked about the lack of self-awareness in some of the couples. Aris doesn't have the self-awareness, man. Like, you're critiquing the person you're with and giving them a 4 out of 10 and 3 out of 10 and stuff like that. Listen, there's a polite way to do those type of things. When those questions come up, you avoid them. Like, you constructively avoid them so you don't make the person feel bad about themselves and you don't make yourself sound like an idiot, you know? So there's a constructive way to get around those questions, and he failed. He took the opportunity to give her a 4, and that's going to shatter someone's self-esteem. And being with someone who you're attracted to, but they're not attracted to you back, can be very hard to deal with. So yeah, I think I heard the saying, it's not so fun when the rabbit's got the gun. That's what's happening to Aris now. And yeah, so the best thing that can happen is that they amicably part ways, and there's no consolation D, there's no sleeping together, there's no for old time's sake, there's no let's give it one try to see if it can start something between us. It's too late. All right. This journey has been all about himself and his struggle to get into a decent relationship, because he's so used to the booty calls and the hood rats and all the other things he was running around with before. All right. So he wasn't ready. He might have thought he was, but he can grow and learn from this, that he's not ready for the type of relationship that he was looking for in the show.
Yep. Sean, have you had to say on this?
Yeah, I think she's checked out, and she's been checked out since he took sex off the table. And I think she's checked out for the wrong reasons, because she's still extremely hurt that he's not attracted to her, versus seeing that they're not a good fit and the connection really isn't there. So, you know, as much as I think he hasn't given her a lot to work with, I think she still is in that same cycle that she was on before with building a bear, because she needed, as Crystal was stating, she just was, you know, it was the bare minimum. You know, she wasn't really highlighting, at least in that clip, the qualities that she really needed in a husband. And there was almost a look of disappointment when they had that conversation a couple of weeks back, and he was like, I think we should hold off sex until after decision day. And then the mama came in, which the mom did get some good advice, but then the mama came in talking about sex too. So that leads me to believe that that was something that bothered Jasmine, and that she had a conversation with her mother about it. So the mother went and, you know, relayed that in her own little way to Aris. It's like, you should be glad that he told you that, because that let you know more than anything else that he's not interested in you. And you should have been at the point of not even entertaining him if he wanted to have sex with you, because he has given you no real genuine interest in you, and he has only been taking. So I don't understand why, you know, she's checked out. I don't get it. And I hear some things on the after party, but she's not articulating that. And all I see is that she's shut down because she doesn't feel like he's attracted to her. And as much as, yes, that can hurt your feelings, that's not been his only challenge, right? You know, it's not the only challenge is that he's not attracted to you. He is not showing her that he really wants to be in a relationship with her in any regard. And, you know, he's been quite rude for the early part of their interactions. And now he's just starting to get to some level of depth with her. But I think he was just that rude and nonchalant and not caring because he really didn't find interest in her. So he was just dropping little things to see how she would react. And unfortunately, I think she just needs to value herself more and be articulate about what she wants or what she expects and set boundaries for him so that she can never be in that situation again if she meets somebody who treats her that way.
Sorry. One last thing. I believe she's still stuck on the fact that that he's never been in love, and it keeps popping up. Like Sean just stated, like it is for the wrong reasons, but she is checked out. So the convo with the baseball cards that brought it up again, where he says he's always leaving a situation. So she's like, I'm not going to open up more to somebody who I think is gonna who's really not gonna stick around. So everything, you know, I've never been in love before. I've always, if a relationship doesn't work out, I just leave. I just leave a situation. I don't like stick around and fight for it. So she's like, I'm not going to open up to somebody who's not going to stick around. And it is for the wrong reasons now, but I can't blame her because in the beginning, during the honeymoon, right around the 4 or 5 conversation, right? You know, they've taken sex off the table and he doesn't talk about sex anymore, but he was still like going for hour-long workouts because he did not want to be around her. And she's like, he's not going to be around. So I'm not going to give myself into this situation. So she's checked out.
I'm gonna need her to do what I said that Shaq should do, which is quit. Then, you know, let him know that there's nothing else going. Okay, because I told Shaq the same thing, so she needs to do the same thing. Otherwise, sis, you hanging on by a mere thread. Open yourself up, not your legs. Just open up your mind. You know what I mean? Like, and open up your heart. Okay. So I'm saying, like, you know, get involved then, because otherwise, what she's doing is she's hanging on, seeing if he will make a change. She really is. There's a little sliver of hope in there, in her heart, that Aris is going to do a 180 complete change. And part of him is making a little bit of a change. Is it going to be enough? I don't know if it is. And, you know, what she wants from him, she's not going to get from him because he doesn't. I don't think that's coming back. If I'm honest with you, I don't think that's coming back. I don't think that's going to circle its way around. I don't think he's going to grow in love. But I think he's trying to make the best of his time by just having more conversations and probably get some free therapy as well while he's there too. You know what I mean? Like, might also do what Clint and Gina are doing. Let's just get through amicably. But it's hard for her because, you know, she really did like him and she found him attractive, you know. She's gonna have to hold his L. It's unfortunate, you know. And you know, if she wants to keep her boundaries, that's cool. But sis, then quit. I know you can't quit the show because they gotta keep the show. But you make it obvious, like Gina and Clint are doing. Okay, make it obvious like Gina and Clint are doing. Okay, like this is a business proposal. You know what I'm saying? You might have to bring your little mentees to the house or whatever, like Gina's doing. Okay, all right, but like these are my mentees. This is who I mentor. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, because otherwise it looks like you're just kind of giving them a little bit of hope, just a sliver of hope in your background as well. So give me 2 seconds, captains. All right. Any last thoughts, guys, on Jasmina and Aris? All right, cool. Sean, do what you do best. I gotta go and grab something, but do what you do best, bro. I'm back.
So the first couple, I maintain my position, and I think husbands, is nothing wrong with buying your wife a house. Nothing at all. He that findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and in finding her, it is good to find her a house as well. if it's within your means and if that works for you. But I think what's most important is that we find people that are aligned to us. From a relationship standpoint, we have people, we align ourselves with people that have similar financial values as we do, right? And have that understanding of how we're going to work together in our relationships. That's most important. And to be honest, to be upfront, but to be willing to work through challenges, because when two people are married, challenges are going to come. It's how we work through them that makes all the difference, and conversations being had. Sometimes they're going to be in the moment, sometimes they're going to be later on, but we should always have open lines of communication with each other and be willing to talk at the right time. Next, when I think about what we talked about with Nicole and Chris, I think what is so important is we can't lead with our past, right? We need to, share past as a context, but don't lead with the past. Don't keep reaching back in your past, because it's going to impact your present and then hurt your future, right? So we don't want to constantly be in a position of reaching back in our past, even if it was good. People that are overly nostalgic, that too can weigh heavy on folks and on your relationships. Sometimes we need to really be focused on the relationship that we're in, the progress that we've made, and how we will move forward together as a couple, versus continuing to reach back in our past. And also, look, as much as there's not always balance, you want to have equity in your relationships. You want to make sure that one person isn't doing too much. One person isn't giving of themselves so much so, and then the other person is left deplete, because I can't pour from an empty cup. Right? You need to be looking to fill my needs as much as I need to be looking to fill yours. They're not going to be the same, but we should be conscious of each other and not overly exhausting one person over the next. Last but not least, when it comes to Aris and Jasmine, listen, we need to be conscious of energy, right? We don't want to necessarily match everybody's energy all the time, but if somebody's not giving us that energy that they want us, we shouldn't be fighting and dragging them and hoping and wishing and praying that they're going to catch up to where we are, right? If they've given us enough signs, if they've shown us enough that they don't want us, we got to know when to hold them and when to fold them, right? And don't let somebody reject you too many times. It really only should take one time for you to truly hear the person. But, if it gets to the third and the fourth and they still rejecting you and coming up with new ways to reject you, we need to read the writing on the wall. And again, know when to hold them and when to fold them. Oh, Gina and Clint, it's nothing wrong with being friends in a marriage, but a marriage is not just pure friendship. We need more. And if all you got to talk about is your job and that's wrapped up in your self-worth, then you've got things that you've got to work for. Okay. You get there's so much to us. We're more than our jobs. We're more than those things that we're tied to. Let's get deep, right? Let's get deep. Let's get to know each other. Let's be open and transparent and talk about how we're going to build, right? Your job does not define you. Back to you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. Listen, guys, it's been amazing. Good conversation, sharp, energetic. You gave a good debate as well with Kirsten and Shaq. And it's been a good, man. I've enjoyed it, so thank you guys and ladies as well for joining us. Audience, thank you for keeping it fresh, funky, and entertaining as well. We'll be back again tomorrow for Love is Blind, the final installment of this particular bunch. I know they're going to release another few episodes again this morning as well, so bun them because I can't keep up. But we will definitely do a live today. Well, actually today for me, today is later on. And we'll have a live on Saturday for Ready to Love, and also for Put a Ring on It as well. So I'll put a ring on it before the Ready to Love as well. So baby, listen, it's not easy out there, baby. It's not easy out there. You get me? So I'm gonna love you and I'm gonna leave you guys. Okay, so tomorrow we'll be back. All right, we'll be back with another bang, and watch out for a few more videos as well from Ready to Love. Okay, and also I am doing a few interviews, not too many on Ready to Love. I'm not doing all of them this year. I decided to be bougie. Okay, all right. So I've contacted 2 or 3 of them. I said I want to have you on the show. The rest of them, that's their business. So Anyway, listen, guys, appreciate you. Stay locked, stay loaded, and we'll see you again tomorrow for another enthralling live as well. Thank you very much. Much appreciation. Ta-ra. I didn't even do